Alright guys, it's inbox time. I have a buttload of emails. I'm blown away at the web response that I've gotten from you guys. Unbelievable. I get 250 emails a day. So all you guys out there that got emails, replies that were one word and it said Google, go on Google, look it up, alright? I don't have all the time in the world, alright? But I will help you guys with the good questions, and I got a bunch here. Some of you guys are asking me some questions that are insanely technical. Now, I'm not going to do paper anymore. I told Randy, no more paper. It's ridiculous. It's silly. I can bring my laptop. It's a waste of paper, the environment. I'm a hippie, you know, I'm like, I love Mother Nature and all that, man. Hug a tree. Let's go ahead and jump into the first one here. Let's check in. This is emails from Oscar. Oscar Marino wrote, okay, so say I decide to go with an EVGA 8800 GT Akimbo video card, 3-phase power addition, 1GB of DDR3, and I pair this with my current 8800 GT. Will I see a better improvement in my system if I were to pair it with an identical card, or will I see the same results? Thanks. Alright, so here's what's happening. You're going to get two video cards, right? One's the 8800 GT, one's going to be the 8800 GT Akimbo. If you don't have the Akimbo and you have the GT, they're different clocks. One's overclocked from factory and one's not. So if you run them at the same time, they have to have the same frequencies for your memory and for your GPU. It's gotta be that way. So if you're already gonna have to overclock the 8800 GT, why would you buy the Akimbo? It's gonna be the same thing. Just get another regular 8800 GT and then overclock both of them to Akimbo specs. The whole point being is that you're adding the Akimbo for no reason. Both of them are gonna get overclocked. Your 8800 GT is gonna already be overclocked. You might as well just, you know, get the same one, save yourself the money, spend the money somewhere else, get a better CPU, cooler, get a new hard drive, whatever, you name it, you know, you can spend it. Spend it on food, man. Food and Mountain Dew, so the overnight session when you overclock it will last, and then you can go play games with it. So that's a lot of good ideas for you to follow. Now let's go to the next one. All right, this email is from Tiago in Portugal. Hello, my friend. How are you doing? Hello Albert, my doubt is, in my old PC I have an Audigy 2 ZS sound card. I love it. It comes with excellent mixing software and produces great sound on my Creative Inspire T7700 speaker system. 1 month ago I bought the P5E motherboard, and that came with the Supreme FX2 sound card. I think this card has a great sound too. For what card have the best sound quality? What board should I choose? Thanks Albert. Tiago, Portugal. Tiago, I don't know how you do things in Portugal, but here's what you do. You have both cards in your hands. Why would you even ask me? Do you think, I mean, I know the answer, but why would I tell you? No. You need to go get both cards, install them both. Install one first, put your headphones on, crank out some jams, play a game, mix some music, whatever you want to do. Rate it 1 to 10 on like 5 different things. Put the other one in, install the drivers, put your headphones on, play a game, mix some music, test it. That's the best way to do it. You know, like people ask me like, what's better? Which monitor is better? Go test them. If you have access to them, like you're near a store or an outlet store, go there, check it out, look at it, read reviews on the internet. It's really simple. Personally, I like the Supreme FX2, but either one is going to do fine. Any sound card is going to be better than onboard sound. It's going to have interference from the rest of the stuff happening on the motherboard. So it does really make sense to get a sound card if you're into audio. But since you have both and you already have them, you're not going to pay for another one, test them. Figure out which one you like better for yourself. You know, don't rely on me. So that's personally what I think. I think you should test it yourself. You know, if you don't want to test it, you know, we'll take it next time. You know, write me back. We'll figure it out somehow. Let's go to the next one here. Let's see. All right, Milan Bendik wrote, hi. Now I have quite a few questions. I'll be building a new system within the next month or so, and I wanted to know what kind of frame rates I could get with this type of system. Thermaltake Armor Plus case, Thermaltake Tough Power 1000 power supply, Thermaltake 760i liquid cooling system, a 780i SLI motherboard, a 260 GTX XXX in SLI mode, Intel Q6600 at stock speed, might overclock later, 8 gigs of RAM, a 1TB hard drive, running on a 1680 by 1050 monitor, and you want to play UT3, COD4, Need for Speed Pro Street, and Race Driver Grid. Should I go for Vista, XP, 64, or 32-bit? What do you think of all of this? Milan, you're a crazy man. You are completely out of control. You need to relax and back off and chill, man. This is ridiculous. Listen, 1000-watt power supply, for what? For what? For what reason? If you're gonna run one 260 GTX, you don't need it. If you're gonna run 2, you probably still don't need it. It's crazy. 8 gigs of RAM, for what? You have to run a 64-bit operating system if you're going to run 8 gigs of RAM. It's not possible to run 4. It's physically impossible. There's like this whole mathematical calculation. How many addresses can you have of memory? And if it's a 32-bit system, it uses 32 bits to identify each bit of memory, and it's some crazy thing there. You can't do it. Listen, here's what you need to do. You need to get a more balanced system. You need to bring like chi into your system. You need to relax. 1,000 watts hour power supply, not necessary. 8 gigs of RAM, definitely not necessary. Try 4. Whether it's XP or Vista, 64-bit, yes, it's great. It used to have problems with it when it first started. Now it actually works very, very well. If you're anti-Vista, like your email kind of sounds like you want XP, 64-bit, or regular XP, it's not that bad. People talk so much garbage. It's not really that bad. Use it. It's pretty. It's fast. If you have a fast computer, it's fast. If you put it on a junker, yes, it's a nightmare. It will be slow. It will crash. It's horrible. What else? A QC600 at stock frequency, you're going to spend all this money on a motherboard that supports a 1333 megahertz front side bus. You're going to have a 260 GTX, 2 of them. All of this to run on a tiny little monitor with the stock QC600. Save the 4 gigs of RAM from the 8. Spend that money on a QX9450. What else can you do here? Instead of the 260 GTXs, just get 1, because to play on that tiny little monitor, you don't need more than that. You could probably play every game at max resolution on that 19-inch monitor. It's not a big deal. What frame rate will you have on those games? Well, Call of Duty 4 will probably be like in the 70s. UT3 will be like 90s. More than enough, more than playable. Anything above 30 is fine. It's going to be very, very playable, so you will have a good time playing it. So that's what I think. Relax on your setup. You're spending a lot of money. You can definitely abbreviate everything, get a smaller power supply, less RAM, get a better processor, and get a bigger monitor, man. Get a bigger monitor. That's way too small. Let's go to the next email. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, here's a good one. I like this one. Michael E. Here's a good email, guys. This is what I want to hear. I am looking to purchase a new 9800 GTX Plus, and I have one question. As I already have a 9800 GTX, I was wondering if the new core type will be compatible in SLI with the older 9800 GTX core. Thanks. Stupidish. Or stupid 3-ish. Interesting, Michael. I'll call you Michael. I don't think you're a dumb guy. That's a smart question. Smart questions from a smart guy. You're not dumb. Listen. Can you do the 9800 GTX and the 9800 GTX Plus? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Now, the die is smaller. They did go from 65 to 55 nm, but the architecture is actually still the same. They just shrunk the die. They didn't change it. They just shrunk it. They made it smaller. So will it work? Yes. Now, keep in mind, though, the 9800 GTX Plus will overclock a little bit further because of the smaller die, the fact that it runs cooler. So it'll go a little further. So that's your 9800 GTX Plus is going to be your limiting factor, but that's not a big deal. It will work. It's not a problem. Go ahead and do that. It'll work fine. No problem. So just go for it. That was a good question too, by the way. This one's from Jake Gendron. Hey Albert, I'm building a new computer and I'm just wondering if you would check out my specs. Ultra eTorque case, Intel DG33TL motherboard, socket 775, serial ATA with RAID support, 600 watt power supply, 8800 GT, 3 gigs of RAM, a 320 gig hard drive, and a Core 2 Duo E8500. I'm using the same monitor and CD drive from the last time. Jake, that all sounds really good. A few tweaks though. That motherboard, not for gaming. It looks like you want to try to play a few games with the 800 GT. You don't want to do that. Let's see, where can we cut some cost out of here? Okay, spend $50 more on the motherboard, get a 750i. That's gonna have 2 PCI Express X16 2.0 slots. So you'll take full advantage of the PCI Express 2.0 on that 8800 GT. That's gonna be the first thing. So you're gonna spend $50 more from there. Where can we get it back to keep your budget the same? E8500, not necessary. It costs $90 more, like something close to that. The E8400 is just 0.1 something slower. It's not a big deal. It's a 3.0 instead of a 3.15 or whatever. It can be overclocked like that. On the stock cooler, you don't need to do anything. That's literally, you're paying $90 for some guy in the factory to just tweak something. Who knows what they do, but it's not necessary. Don't do it. Overclock it yourself. Go into the BIOS. You don't need to mess with voltage or anything. Just go to the frequency, bring down a drop-down menu, and put it to 3.15. Done. You saved yourself $90. So that's how you can get the better board. What else can we do here? That's PCI Express 4 2.0. Oh, and then the extra money, since you're going to save more than $40, you're going to end up saving like $90 by doing that. Get yourself the 4th gig of RAM. Not that you need it, but you definitely want to have 4 gigs so that you can retain your dual channel. With 3, you can't do that. You might as well get the 4th. It'll give you a better Vista score. Your benchmarks will be a little higher in certain applications that are very memory intensive. But that was a good setup. I liked it very much. All right, so I'm out of here, but I want more emails. So if you have a well-researched and prompted question, go ahead and send it to the email here. I will see you guys next time.